He does. He does.
Prediction? Yes, prediction.
Pain.
Are you ready? I was born ready.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dude is so bad. I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. Because sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just I hate that. I'm scared of it.
It would be awesome to, being a great war. Maybe we would a Mexican.
Let's go. Way pop, way pop, way pop, way pop, way pop.
I have to put the joke.
No, hey.
Thank you for playing, man. I appreciate it.
Good timing, man.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Never leave anything to the judges. Never leave our topic and subjects. As always, a long live boxing en vivo podcast. Tres amigos, Manny Marrero.
65.
Sean El Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper.
Always breaking it down like it is, like it should be.
Como debe
We
de
are
ser.
about to reach a milestone, episode 65.
65.
Which is brought to you by Sweat Boxing Gym in Irving, Texas. And the locals are back, ladies and gentlemen. Upcoming fight. Listo Guy 10 will be leading the card. Also, a lot of surprises with the little stable. It's kind of growing,
It's
Hopper.
growing.
Yeah, a lot of exciting
to see,
things
excited
going
to
on.
see
Thank you,
guys.
Hector Vasquez.
November 20th. Get your
We-
tickets.
yeah.
Tickets will be available at the door. Don't be shy. Support your
know.
local boxing. Vamos.
There's going to be a
Vamos
lot
con
of
todo.
surprises here, man, and I'm pretty excited about that. First of all, Hector, and your crew, we appreciate you guys inviting us to your little Halloween party. We had a fantastic night at night.
Great time.
I mean, we heard a
Great
lot of
time.
things.
Man,
You
yeah,
just have to keep quiet
Lot of-
sometimes.
lot of-
I don't remember it. So
I
that's
don't
how know it was a
remember
good
it.
party.
So if it didn't
It's a
remember,
great
never happened.
atmosphere.
Yeah, if I don't remember, it didn't happen.
Well, a lot of stuff happened, ladies and gentlemen, but we were excited about, upcoming fights with the locals, bringing back boxing into the Metroplex and talk about bringing back boxing. I call it, Sean, the unforgotten division. We talked about the lightweights. We've talked about, gave a lot of, spiel about, the featherweights and then, junior lightweights and, the heavyweights are kind of settling their path to something really good that we're excited to see. But one of the divisions that kind of took over for a while for the heavyweights, kind of took the crown away from being the best division. It's the welterweights, the 147. And,
Right.
the sadly thing about it is, we just don't see what's the path, what's the roadmap for some of the fights that, us fans, we want to be able to see. Undisputed. Is that ever going to happen? Are we going to be able to finally see Manny Pacquiao doing something, defending his Super WBA champion?
Holding it hostage.
Well, he's supposed to be fighting Mikey Garcia.
Well, it's not completely
it's
100%. Yeah, that's a rumor. And I know, Marky Garcia had come out and saying that's going to happen, and we trust him. I mean, Marky Garcia.
I mean, why not?
Why not? And that'd be a really good fight that it can keep that momentum to the welterweights. And then we know for a fact that Errol Spence will be fighting, Danny Garcia,
Right.
and that's kind of probably settle a couple of things down, but
And
answer
a lot of questions.
a lot. But here's the deal. I mean, there's someone out there that he's considered one of the best in the sport, considered as a pound for pound
Generational talent.
talent.
Just hasn't had the opportunity, to
But
fight some of the bigger names.
That sucks, And now talking about with my brothers here to kind of analyze and see what the heck is going on. And Sean, I'm gonna start with you. Last time.
Yes.
We were discussing about, opportunity that, Crawford has now going into fighting Kell Brooks. And, those of you know Kell Brooks, although he is underestimated with his talents, powers, former champ, he had gone up and tried to fight the best in the 160, fought Triple G, your favorite guy, right?
One of
Got
them,
broken.
Got broken.
Literally.
Came back down to the
Literally
154s, did a couple of good fights out there, and now he's coming down to the 147 for the biggest opportunity. So he's actually not washed out. I see it as a good fight for Crawford, not what we want to see. But you talked about, Sean, the other day that these are the breadcrumbs. I mean, I can't sleep ever since I heard that from you. So
Yeah,
can you
I was
elaborate
hungry
on
when
that?
I said it, but let me go ahead and expand. When I said the breadcrumbs have gone stale, and I was referencing a
Just the
fairy tale.
leftovers of what we
Well,
got?
no, a breadcrumbs is basically like you leave the breadcrumbs out and you take them to make a trail. You're leading towards something. And I felt like, we've been
I
led
thought
to
we were getting the
believe-
leftovers from the break. Hey, party,
No,
what do we
there's
got?
no leftovers at our house. Sir.
Leftover.
So like that, the fights that we were seeing were building blocks going towards something bigger or better. They were going to lead towards something that we wanted to see, an inevitable super fight. But when I say that they've gone stale, because when you look at Father Time, Crawford is 33 now, and granted he's in great shape, probably because he hasn't faced a lot of adversity, with the fights he's had. But it's hard not to get discouraged from the standpoint of a fan when you look at his, resume and the fighters he's fought. And I know that we're in a pandemic and you can only fight who you can fight, and it is what it is. But it's disappointing that at this stage of his career, we're still looking for that marquee fight. And when I said the breadcrumbs have gone stale, and I was referencing in our past episode 63, I was referencing that I think that Crawford's actually content with it. I think he's made good money, and I'm not questioning his heart or anything like that. I'm just questioning the fact that he said he wants the big fights, but you can show me better than you can tell me. And I think based off his actions, he's content with fighting not washed out, but a past his prime. Is that fair to say? Kell Brook, who's 34 himself, who literally almost had to semi-retire because of orbital bone broken twice back to back. Through two grueling fights, one Triple G and then Errol Spence Jr.
Back to back.
And he's had all kinds of rehydration issues. And that's the thing. I mean, I have a great respect for Kell Brook in the career, and I love the UK fans and their passion for boxing, and I think that Kell Brook at one time, especially what was that 4 years ago when he fought
Sean Porter, 2014,
right?
Yep.
He was fighting.
That was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the last. Yeah.
That was peak.
Yeah,
Kell Brook.
Pete Kell Brook. He was fighting at the correct weight. I think that ultimately, he's not a welterweight. He should be fighting at, I think, 154.
154.
I think that's his ideal weight. He's 5'9". He's a bigger guy. He's going to be the bigger, taller guy. But ironically, he's an orthodox fighter. He has the lesser reach, 69-inch and a half reach, where Terence Crawford, super freak, has a 74-inch reach.
That's crazy.
That's inhuman. That's part of his advantage that he has, because he can extend so
Hit you
far
from the other side of the ring.
But
from one corner
literally
away.
That's the thing, is at what point are we going to see that fight? And that's why I said before, I've given up on it. I don't think we ever are. And I don't want to rain on the parade or just downtrot this fight like it's not going to be a respectable. Anytime you get to see,
I'm glad to hear that. I had that.
No.
perception of that.
Anytime that I respect any boxer that comes in the ring. I respect both these guys, and I think they've had they're both very strong talents, and I respect what they've done for boxing, and they're. But that being said, that I'm getting more and more disappointed, frustrated, and frankly just annoyed by Terence Crawford and his career path.
You clearly believe that we will never see Crawford fight.
It's never going to happen.
The top guys. Okay, so another question: do you think that? Because the door's not cracked. I think the door is open now, fighting Kell Brooks. Do you think this is the path to Crawford start entertaining himself for the middleweights? Fighting a guy that's actually truly a middleweight?
No, that's another thing.
Close.
I don't think
He's too small.
It's
for
not.
that division.
That's why I said
because I know he's been talking about, well, what the heck? He's gotten tired of waiting for some of these guys to finally, get a match together. And is he tired? I mean, in your perspective, is he really tired? And can he really entertain himself to looking forward to some of the things rather than just waiting for these guys? And him just taking these fights for him means like, yeah, it's good. It's not a sparring session, but I'm fighting a former world champion. But I can't deal with this anymore. Is that the mental attitude you feel from Crawford?
Again, it's based off what I'm seeing.
If he moves up to 154, he's going to run into the same problems he's having at 147. Jermell Charlo, he's the unified champion there at 154, and then the other guy is well, maybe Patrick Teixeira. Patrick Teixeira.
Or Munguia.
Munguia, but see, even those still kind of somewhat promotions. I think it is time to start calling out Uncle Bomb, because if he says he can make the fights with Tank, and Floyd says there's friends, why not? Why is it so hard to make the Crawford and the Spence fight? I think it's time. It's sad because it's sad. You look at Crawford; he's a special talent, but he's just not going to have the names on his resume to back it up, to prove it. Unified 140-pound division, which was stellar. But at 147, I mean, there's just so much there, and he just keeps coming up empty with some of these guys. Mean Machine. I mean, and we're not trying to discredit some of these guys and calling them sorry or anything, but we know that Terence Crawford is an elite talent, and we just want to see him matched up with. It's unfortunate that they're all pretty much in the PBC, and he's just.
What does this fight right now does for Crawford? Fighting Kell Brooks, because I mean we want to see him active, and you said it.
It's pretty much a stay busy fight.
It's a stay busy fight
because I think Kell Brook will give a better account of himself than his compatriot did, Amir Khan. Amir Khan pretty much quit. Once he realized that his speed had no kind of effect on Crawford and his time and abilities. He checked out, wanted no part of Terence Crawford. Mean Machine actually hurt Terence Crawford, but otherwise was dominated for the fight. Kell Brook, maybe 6 years ago, this fight would have been exciting, but Kell Brook's already been broken down pretty bad. G, and you moved up to 160 to fight Triple G, then come down to 154, and now you're coming back down to 147. That's a natural for your body.
And he's always had issues with maintaining weight and his nutrition. Unless he's hired a nutritionist, and I'm hearing he's in camp right now, and he says
he's looking strong. He's always been a strong lad.
Well, I know that his normal cornerman is not going to be with him for this fight.
Right.
So that's another kind of a red flag. But again, I don't want to just rain on parade. For those that are listening, giving a fair assessment of the fight. So the thing that Kell Brook does do well is I like that fact that he's the master of distance, and I think that he can kind of keep him at bay with his jab, and he has a real good. If he could keep his timing and get that straight jab across, because the one thing that I'll say is Crawford, what I saw in the last fight against Mean Machine, he gets hit a lot when he switches to the southpaw, and he throws like he tried to throw his combinations. He throws his shots a little bit wider, and it leaves himself open for a straight shot. And that's what Kell Brook excels at, or he used to.
If he's
so so I'm saying if Kell Brook can time that, I'm thinking there actually is a possibility, and there is a more of a puncher's chance than normal. I think that actually it could turn to be a pretty entertaining fight.
Yeah, I believe so too, because you have to consider that Kell Brook's going to be the bigger guy there.
Yes.
He's going to be the naturally bigger guy, and if he's not weight drained, if he's not severely weight drained,
and that's the concern though, because you're going to the 147. You haven't made 147 in a while.
Rehydrates well, and if he's not like a ghost at the weigh-ins, I think he'll give Terence a good run for his money. Depending on how aggressive he does get, because he does like to turn it up sometimes, and I think Terence has this nastiness in him, where he's great at pretty much everything he does. But his chin has been tested a few times. Mean Machine tested it. Gamboa tested it.
See, that was another thing.
He's been rocked.
Yeah,
Brooks gonna.
Yeah.
I love that you said that,
Sean
brother.
Porter
I was going to say that one thing that, and Terence Crawford, I mean, if you're listening, thank you.
He is.
Yeah. He does everything well, exceptionally well. If there's one thing that I'm saying that I think kind of gets embellished or he gets over credited for, is his defense.
Yep.
And I think your Mean Machine fight is, a good comparison, because like I said, when he switches to that
was a
southpaw,
knockdown. I don't care what the rep says.
That was a knockdown. And he was hurt. He was hurt in that fight.
Hurt, yep.
Yeah.
So, and he's been hurt in other fights too, right?
Especially with the smaller Gamboa.
Right.
Rocked him completely. Yeah.
So, again, is Kell Brook capable of doing that? Hell no. But
you don't think he's capable of rocking Terence Crawford?
I mean, honestly, because
you
make it
not at this stage of his career.
Well, you made a really good point though, because he had looked very good at the middleweight. Didn't look good with of course Triple G, but he looked really good when he fought Sergey Radchenko. He's really good in this last fight against DeLuca. You know, a very talented kid.
Marine, the former Marine.
Yeah, 7th round knockout. Seems to have power. Not the kind of talent that Crawford is, but do you see at any given point that probably Brook can squeeze in and maybe get a division, maintaining this distance, and just pretty much just frustrating Crawford, you know, not letting him land anything and running around the ring like he normally does?
No, I think like the thing that I was saying, I think that could keep the fight interesting, like 6 rounds.
6 rounds.
So I know his manager predicted Bomac for Terence Crawford. It's not gonna go 5 rounds. It's kind of hard to go against that. I think because of the fact of a slower, less effective Kell Brook at this weight.
Right.
You know, he's not going to even have his cornerman.
It's still a lot of things going
just
against
so
him.
many things that are going against him. And then, you have Terence Crawford, and I've seen the trailer. He's pissed off at the world and mad because people don't respect him.
He's just been angry lately, huh?
Yeah, well, and I think he's taking it too personal too. I mean, I don't know. It's just the unfortunate right now.
Paid.
This
I guess
time.
he just doesn't have.
Well, but he doesn't have the
I think
opponent.
he hears the chatter. He hears.
Yeah, he does.
saying
He's
that
not
we don't
part
have
of the conversation right now. He's the forgotten, the same as the Walter.
I'll go ahead. I'll add to the chatter really quick. If he continues
down this path
on this path without having a notable win, you can't call him pound for pound. He's a pound for pound talent. He's not a pound for pound fighter.
Is that what gets him frustrated? That he's not really
pound for pound at 140.
Great point.
For sure. At 147,
not yet.
Just another guy, brother.
Not yet.
Another guy so far.
I mean, if you think about it, this will be the first true welterweight champion that he actually has faced. He's going to face.
And ironically,
he did fight Jeff Horn. Right?
Yeah, but he's not a natural 147.
Jeff Horn, Jeff Horn was a big.
Yeah, see, that's another thing
but when it comes to the elite level that Kell Brook was in the past, then that's a different story. So although he's past his prime, and I'm not sure if he's trying to really be back in the spotlight, but I truly, honestly feel right now that if Crawford can really make a statement and end this real quickly, maybe within the fourth, fifth round. That's where I'm kind of leaning to. But
stoppage, right?
Yeah, stoppage. I think he can continue to keep creating the buzz to make sure that he can get probably the winner of Garcia and Spence. And
he has to be here.
Terence
Crawford has to be here at Cowboy Stadium for that fight.
He has to.
Once the winner happens, he needs to walk up in the ring.
Yes.
He needs to create drama, create excitement, hit somebody with the steel chair, do something, and then that way we can pique the fans' interest. And yes. He has to take it upon himself now.
Not the fan interest, because the fans want to see.
The fans already want to see.
Listen, the fan wants to see Crawford finally, and I know a lot of fans, they've seen him. And they talk about it and come ask me. And they're like, but what's the big hype about Crawford?
It has to
I've seen him fight, but it's just not there. It's like, listen, you just got the.
It has to get the critical mass.
It has to be a point where they have no choice but to make the fight because the fans are, hey, we demand it. We want to see it.
Because honestly, if it's not any other whoever wins this fight, and it's not going to happen with Pacquiao, or maybe the winner Pacquiao Garcia, if that ever happens. Who else can fight Crawford at the 147?
Man, you know what? And that kind of goes to my point again.
I know who can fight him.
I know too.
Jose Ramirez when he moves up in weight at 147.
No. But in the meantime.
In the meantime, or like right now?
Well, after this fight. I know someone that can really.
Verdejo?
No. Sean Porter.
They're buddies. They
I know,
tried
but
talking
still,
about making that fight, and he's with the PBC too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If he's gonna fight a PBC guy, go for
Earl.
Yeah,
you're gonna go for Earl. But I mean, if you can't fight Earl, and you need to,
that'd be a great fight.
Money,
that'd be a great fight.
So I mean, there's still light at the end of the tunnel for him. I feel like a lot of people have given up.
That light is.
Yeah, but still, I said it in the last episode. We still have to be able to think about there's a possibility in the fans, and you're absolutely right. He has to start doing something.
The artist formerly known as.
Here's another thing.
And it's not difficult. That's what I'm understanding. I mean, PBC,
but it's all right though.
Why can't we get this fight going on? Earl Spence.
Because
Al Heyman. Why can't we get this fight? Bob Arum. Why can't we agree to this?
No one said this. Maybe it is him. I'm not saying ducking. Maybe he's just content getting checks.
Because he is getting a pretty good from all indications, his guarantee with Top Rank is pretty, maybe like in the 5 million range, and
think
somewhere
about
around there.
$5 million for fighting Kell
Who am I
Brook?
gonna fight?
I know
Kell Brook?
that's fine. He's his
Already.
guarantee. I mean, but he wants to.
You
be
can't complain
in
about
the middle of a
legacy fights
spotlight,
at
and
that
not only
point.
that is like when can we? And I feel his frustration, and I think about it
See,
all
I
the
don't
time.
see again. I don't think he's frustrated, Manny.
He's
think
getting
he's
paid, but
doing
he's
it.
not
Just
getting what he
playing it? You
deserves.
think
he's
Listen,
playing the
I
game,
think for
bro.
him, it's more important how people think about his legacy and what he's built. And right now, a lot of people still in doubt. And it's like you fight a great guy, you knock him out, and but
you
he's
know why? Yeah,
not
you know
there
why?
yet.
Just a good point, Gringo, and I'm starting to agree with you. You know why? Because we've seen Tyson Fury, who is with Top Rank, partially promoted with Uncle Bob, make an agreement with Wilder twice. So why can't that blueprint work for his other
And remember,
fighters?
that was the gateway that people were saying, like, well, this should
could
open up
probably
that
open up the
opportunity.
floodgates.
Okay, now take it a step
and
further.
even Bob says it.
Yeah,
Bob
they're
said
my
it.
buddies. They're,
Robert
I mean,
Garcia, we know people on the inside. When the fighter really wants it, all hell be damned, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
So it leads me to
Mr.
believe, and I'm
Benavidez
not
said
calling
it.
him a ducker because he's not. He's a
Are you saying
warrior,
duck sauce?
not duck sauce. I'm saying contentment.
He's just fine. He's just
good.
Well, first we got to
He's like, you know what? I'm gonna create some fake anger. Show some fake.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
gonna get on
angry.
this trailer.
Grrr.
I'm gonna
I'm
do
not
some jump
fighting
rope.
these guys, but let me catch my $5 million guarantee.
Are you talking about Gary Russell now again?
I was licking my chops. Ooh, Earl, Danny,
So-
you guys are lucky.
Real quick, let's go ahead and give our official predictions for this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's gonna be they're gonna have some moments in there for Kell Brook. I do think that because Terence Crawford is susceptible to getting hit with the straight shot down the middle, and that is an effective shot for Kell Brook. I think he'll be using his distance on the outside, but eventually Terence Crawford's too talented. He'll get on the inside, he'll work the body, and eventually he'll knock him out in the 5th round.
There's nothing that Kell Brook does that has an advantage over Terence Crawford.
Or he hasn't
maybe
seen.
his size, maybe his size, but Terence Crawford's just. I'm thinking 5 rounds, 6 rounds. If that, he's gonna have to set out pretty early because he's gonna lose every round. And if he gets in survival mode, that's probably the only way the fight goes the distance. But no, I think Terence is gonna end this mid rounds 5 to 6, and then we're gonna have the Kell Brook, Amir Khan. Hopefully that can finally happen. The losers to Crawford Bow or whatever we can call it. But yeah, this is a Terence Crawford fight.
I agree with
Stay
you
busy
guys.
fight.
I agree with you guys. I think I want Crawford to make a statement. I want Crawford to end this as early as
I see Sean Porter trying to hype the fight just because he's buddies with
He's
Crawford.
making a statement.
Come on,
brother.
bro.
I'm good.
Yeah,
Remember he fought me, guys? Yeah, like 6 years ago.
I believe.
Well, let me say my prediction.
Oh,
go ahead.
sorry.
I forgot about that. No, I agree with you guys. I think Crawford needs to make a statement. He needs to really shine completely and end this thing before the 4th round. If able to do that convincingly and show his power, his anger, hopefully that he's up for bigger, better things. I can't wait. I really do. I hope there's a major, huge fight with them. Top elite boxers currently. I don't know honestly about Errol Spence because we don't know exactly what's going to happen.
Right.
But I a Manny Pacquiao kind of thing. Maybe a Danny Garcia if he beats. That would be fantastic. If Danny Garcia beats Spence, that would be a fantastic fight. That finally is it going to happen? It's like, man, but I just hope and I wish the best for Crawford 4th round knockout. Boom.
EnVivo.
All right, good
Brought
stuff.
to you by Sweat Boxing Gym.
I see a Sweat Boxing Gym,
November
Irving,
20th.
Texas. Ladies
your
and gentlemen, we
tickets.
thank you so much for always tuning in. Remember, everywhere you listen to your favorite podcast, Los Locos Amigos are there. Just you got to search Long Live Boxing EnVivo podcast. Please subscribe. Also like and share. It does help our content. And until next one, we're coming out with another episode, but episode 65.
Wait on.
Adios.
Fuera.